Hey, what's going on YouTube? I just wanted to make a video kind of discussing what is the purpose? What is the purpose of collecting CIB, complete in-box games? Maybe not so much a purpose, but why do people do it? Why does someone like myself obsess over having the box, the manual, and all the goodies inside of the box? As you can see here, I kind of have the works going. This is the stuff that I like to collect, and I really don't have anything that is not in the box. Some of it is incomplete, but for the most part, it does have a case, box, and game. The only thing I see that I don't, well, I mean, I'm sure you can understand why I didn't go out of my way for this, because I think this was free, and I've never played it, and I'm not going to. And really, to be completely honest, I think it has a lot to do with presentation and how things look on a shelf. For me, I like to try to keep my things somewhat organized. I know over here is kind of a little jumbled mess with Amiibo and different things like that. Like personally for me, seeing all the games on a shelf just kind of scratches something in my brain, you know? I don't know if it's not me color coding anything. It's mostly alphabetizing, but it's always been kind of a fixation of mine ever since I was a kid. I maybe not like really young, but kind of going into my preteen years. So for me, this being my hobby, I want to keep things as nice. I want it to look organized. I do it kind of meticulously in the way of how I want it to look overall. But yeah, I think most collectors would agree that it's largely presentation. Like you just pull a game off the shelf, and I got these clear cases, and there you go. Like it's just satisfying. I don't know what's so satisfying exactly about, you know, folded up cardboard and pieces of paper, and it adds a lot of value to the game. See, I wasn't alive in the 90s until the late 90s, 97. But I wasn't there for when people would go buy a game in the store. They would, did I just spit? Because I think people back then, even now, there's a lot of people like that now. They just want to play the game. And I get that. I buy games because I want to play them too. But also, my mind or something in my head has turned me into a collector. And being that way in my head, I wish I could go back in time and go buy these games for retail price. You know, get them CIB like they were back in the day. And that's where I'm going to lead off into my next point. I think it's also mainly nostalgia. I remember when I was younger walking into a Kmart, a Target, or a Walmart, and they'd have all the kiosks lined up. They had the GameCube kiosk, the PS2 kiosk, Xbox. I don't remember seeing any handhelds. But you'd see all these games behind a glass display. And the wonder in me as a kid filled up. And I think those fond memories that I have a lot to do with me wanting to be a complete in-box collector. One specific memory of nostalgia that I have is with Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I purchased this game on a whim because I had a Game Boy Advance when I was young, and I only had like Super Mario World and some I Spy game. I think my mom might have been in a good mood or something because she bought it for me. I think mainly because it was $20 and on sale or something like that. It was way after it came out. It was like, I think it came out in 03. It was probably like 05, 06, 07, something like that. I was young. Oh, and here's the I Spy game I got from a Scholastic book fair, where you could pretty much order from like a little pamphlet at school. I honestly don't even remember what happened to the front, but I made this replacement kind of drawing a long time ago when I was younger, and it just kind of stayed that way. But anyways, I remember going home and unboxing Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, me thinking it was just kind of I didn't really know what to expect just because I was young. I didn't understand the mechanics at first. I didn't really know what an RPG was. I was mainly, as a kid, you know, you're a very, very casual gamer. But I started playing it and I discovered that I loved it. And honestly, at that point, I think that's when my obsession began. And as I grew older, I think I just decided that if I was gonna buy games, they have to have the box. They have to have the case. For me, especially if it's like a, like a DS, 3DS, PS2, PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, in my opinion, there's no reason for it to not have the case. Whereas older Nintendo consoles, the NES, the Super NES, N64, GBA, Game Boy, I would understand if those don't have the boxes because, like I said, a lot of people just took the game out and threw all the stuff away, which definitely adds value to it because it kind of makes it a little more rare, even though there was many games that sold millions and millions of copies that still are really expensive. But yeah, I definitely think the nostalgia factor is a real thing because I remember on the way home from getting this game, I was looking at it inside the Target bag. I spent my time reading the back. Now, mind you, this is old. I've had this for a really long time. But what I've done is, what I do is I take the game out and I keep it somewhere else. So then that way I can just pull out everything else. You even kept the little freaking baggie, dude. Are you serious? Nostalgia definitely has something to do with it. I mean, look at this. This was for Club Nintendo, and I never had the means to do this when I was younger, so I never did anything with that. But everything came with this. Game Boy games came with this. Your journey is just beginning. And the instruction booklet. I used to spend an insane amount of time just going through these instruction booklets. Going through the instruction booklets. And look how thick it is. This is a novel, and I love it. I would take illustrations from this booklet when I was younger, and I would like take inspiration from it, and I would just draw. Like, I used to love drawing when I was a kid. So I think the nostalgia factor is what does it for me, for sure. I think I might be a little OCD about how my games look on a shelf. I'm not gonna self-diagnose. I don't know if I'm actually OCD, but I like looking at my shelf and looking at and seeing that it's all organized. And to me, a lot of this stuff is just a part of gaming history, game preservation, artwork preservation, and things like that. And like I said before, a lot of these people would get these games and just throw everything else away. They only cared about the game. And I get that. But to me, now that I'm a fully grown adult, it's a lot more to me. And just for that, that reasoning, I think is the reason why something like Pokemon cards has exploded in popularity recently, where it's kind of hard to even get anything. People just want to remember what it feels like to open up a box and literally just mess around with paper and cardboard. Now, with all those things being said, does it really matter at the end of the day if you're just trying to play the game? The answer is no. If you're just trying to play video games, just emulate or buy it loose. Who cares? But if you want to collect, document, display, kind of more of a hobby, then maybe it might be worth looking into. Albeit it's considerably more expensive. But I definitely think that having those visual pieces and that physical media is a good thing. I believe as adults we yearn for a time when things were simpler, and these kind of things remind us of that time. For me, that's why I will continue to be a physical and complete collector pretty much until the day I can't do it anymore. But anyway, that's my quick opinion on why people collect CIB and why I do it. It might not be for everybody. It definitely isn't. But leave me a comment, a like, whatever, subscribe. Let me know what you collect for. If it's some specific console, handheld, whatever. I like seeing the other things that people collect. If you want to share with me, more than welcome. I'm acting like I'm a big YouTuber, but I'm not. But I'm trying to get out there, you know. I'm trying to find my people. Thanks for watching and keep collecting.